Okay? So there's two sides to the WELS system, and WELS is a company. It's a company that was contracted by the state to provide database support. As most of you know, the FOCUS program is partially funded by the Federal Race to the Top grant, and part of the Race to the Top grant included having a statewide database system for the collection of information from early childhood programs. And so WELS was chosen to be able to support us in that, and we're launching live right now. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you not to do is, as much as I know a lot of you, if you're from multiple, like Leanne, I know you're from multiple programs, the other 3 programs will not be able to access what you're accessing because only your site has been activated in the system. Okay, so, or if you have a neighboring program that says, hey, you're in FOCUS, I heard you went to the database workshop, can you help me get in? They're not going to be able to get in. Until I have COIFD go in and change someone's status, they will not be able to access the system. Even if you give them the web address, they can look at the pretty screen. And that's about all they'll be able to do because they're not activated in the system yet. Okay? We're doing that very intentionally because I don't want anyone being able to get in that hasn't been trained to get in and be able to access everything without being shown how to do it and with the purpose of it, the why behind it. Okay? So this is our front screen. Are all of you on? Do you have internet access? Are you able to get on right now? Okay. So let's start there. Go ahead and get yourselves on the internet, please. So when you put in the web address for the New Mexico Early Learning Portal, this is what you'll see when you come to it. Okay? So this is what the screen you should always see when you come up to it. So when we begin with this, what we want to make sure you guys have is your your email address, your license number. If you're accredited, your accreditation information. If you have your mission statement, you don't have to have it. We can go back and add that, not a big deal. Enrollment info, you can put it in. You can always change it. It's not a big deal. Education and training information, this is for you, because eventually your staff will put in their own, and then any language information you need to put in. I have a list of all of your programs up here, so if you don't remember your license number off the top of your head, don't worry, I have them up front. And I've highlighted you guys on the master list. So do you need me to pass it around? Okay, let's pass it around. Grab your license numbers off of them if you need to.
What is the website?
It's on here. We'll get to there. We're not going there yet.
What is it? What's the address?
Not yet.
Oh,
not yet. That's okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're almost there.
Are you waiting for more people?
We have more that should be coming, but we're just going to go ahead and get started. That's okay.
So I was a couple minutes ago, I'm like, why is it so pretty?
And we were in the other building and we're looking for it.
Oh. Hey, Mary. Okay. Go to the third page for me. And the packet I gave you, I did them single sheets and very large so that you'll be able to see everything. I know a lot of times we do them small with note sections, but this information is really tiny and really critical that you be able to read everything on every slide. So go ahead and type in the URL and be able to access the portal page. So let me know if you put the address in and you cannot get to here, okay?
New Mexico. I mean, I have one just by
Yeah. Right. So when you guys go back to your sites or at home, wherever you have your computer access, if you have difficulty getting on, please shoot me an email right away, okay?
Do we need to sign in or?
We will. I'm so glad you guys are so anxious to get in here. It's exciting. Okay, is everybody on, were you able to find the page?
It's not letting me get past the UNM.
What I would suggest is when you get back to your center or to your home, saving it under your favorites. Okay, that way you can always go back and access it as much as you need to instead of trying to remember the whole portal web address. Okay, so on to the next page. Go ahead and click the sign up page for me.
Sign up.
And it should bring you to a screen where you're able to do your user login. Did it bring everyone to that screen?
login or sign up?
Sign in, log in.
Sign up.
Go ahead. Okay, so this is going to be the director of the center, okay, or the focus designee, whomever that may be. So go ahead and start entering all of your information for your user account.
Do we make up a password?
You do make up a password. So make sure you write it down on your notes section so you don't lose it. When you get to date of birth, please make sure you put your accurate date of birth. And the reason is this is your user account. So all of your trainings will be linked to this as well. So the demographic information that you fill out over time will be linked to this as well. So all of your trainings will find you between your name and your birth date. If you had one that you ever did trainings under in New Mexico, I would put it.
Okay.
So Roxanne said if you do need a previous last name, if you ever had your trainings listed under a different last name in New Mexico, I would go ahead and put it. Pick the most recent.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You want work or home address or just?
Erica, that's their own home address because this is their personal account, correct? Yes, this is your home address. So the steps that you are doing right now, your staff will do those exact same steps.
Can we put it in for them?
I would prefer not. They can sit with you while you do it, but to ensure that, because it's correct, and if they were to ever say, Jen, you put my birth date in wrong, and now I'm not getting credit for my trainings, things like that, have them, so you can sit with them while they do it, just for support, but I would have them be the one that enters the information.
Want us to stop and not do it?
Yes, stop once you have everything in. And there should be a button at the bottom that says sign up. If you want to go ahead and click on that. If you have everything entered, go ahead and click on the sign up. So you should have received this, thank you. And so now go ahead and click on start now for me. And we're going to start entering information. And so this takes us into the educator profile. And so you're going to want to click on add educator information. How many of you are on the trainer registry? Okay, so as you can see right here, there's also a section to apply to be a trainer. So that leads us into the trainer registry as well once that is up and running. But right now I just need you guys to click on just add educator information. Oops, too far. And we're going to fill out as many sections as we can, okay? There are a couple required sections, and then we'll just make sure. It'll tell you if you hit a required section and then didn't do it. So there are a couple of blocks in there to make sure you do that. So I know you just added some of this information. Did it populate already, or are you having to? Okay. So continue scrolling through that. So you will need to, when you're doing this with your educators, because it's going to look exactly the same as what you're doing now, I would just sit with them as they're doing this process. So go ahead and start scrolling through the pages to add your information. So your user information should have populated. Did everybody's populate? Okay. And did you click next at the bottom? Okay. So the next section is your early care and education experience. So tell us how long you've been doing this. How many years have you been doing this?
Our center is going to come up here?
Your information should have. It will. Hold on one second. That's okay. Okay. So then go on to place of employment. You're going to need to find your center. You can either put your license number in there, or you can scroll down through and find yours, or you can start typing the title of your company as well.
If we put in search the license,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the one.
Then we're good. Yeah, the word should be there.
Yeah.
Did you find? That's okay. So once you've added your site, then it should bring you to this screen. Is everyone on this screen now? Place of employment continued? Okay. So you want to put, your center name should have populated by itself. Did it do that? Okay. And then your license number should have populated by itself. Are we all in the right place, though? Assigning yourself to the right center? Don't give someone else credit for your work. The start date is the date you started in your center. So your date of hire, your start date, whatever that may be. And then what position you carry. And then as of what date. So if you could have had a start date of January 1st, 1999, but as of January 1st of 2010, you were the director. Okay, so do the as of as well. And then your average paid work hours per week, which I'm sure most of you are laughing about. I'm like, really? So again, sitting with your staff while they're doing this, for most of them, I would have their start dates sitting there with you when you bring them up to do this process. That way, there's no question, it's going in as accurate data, and you keep moving forward. So the next section is the early learning sector. Okay, you don't need to do anything on this screen because the early learning sectors are selected by your program. Because you guys are in Focus, it comes up as Focus Childcare and also General Childcare. If we only gated you guys to Focus Childcare, then once the training side of WELS is done, you guys would not be able to see any of the regular trainings that are offered by the TTAP. So we have you in two sectors. You're in General Childcare to be able to see all of the other TTAP trainings that are not Focus trainings, and then Focus so you can see all the Focus trainings. Okay? So go ahead and click Next. Does everybody say Focus Childcare and General Childcare? Let me ask that really quick. They all say the same? Okay. Focus Head Start?
Childcare, Head Start, and General.
Okay. No, we'll fix that. So.
And Fresno has pre-K, and that's separate.
Good, okay. Did y'all say pre-K as well? It does not? Okay. So the support that you have here, this support email is checked once a day. So if you have any technical questions or something's not working, it gives you an error message, anything like that. So make sure you hang onto that handout or put it somewhere where you can see it. This telephone number is also, it's a Google telephone number, so different people, we can assign it to different people to answer as we're moving through. Right now, our main contact person is actually Erica. She'll be fulfilling that role for us right now until we have someone trained and in the Training and Development Hub. So until then, Erica will be your contact person responding from this email, okay? So on to the next. It should have taken you over to the Education tab. Is that where everyone is? Okay, so go ahead and add your educational level, your major, the date. Okay, so then once you've hit save, then click Next. Then it's going to take you into your professional development trainings. We're not going to do this right now. I'm just telling you this is where you can go. And if you do not find your trainings, you can actually, let's try this. Everyone click on the search for trainings and see if it finds any of your trainings because all of our trainings have been loaded into WELS. So let's see if it brings you up by any chance.
So we put your name where it says name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you can click search for my trainings and it should pull it off of your name and date of birth. And your staff can do that as well. If you have a training that's not listed on there, that you have a certificate for, that maybe it's just not, maybe it's older, but you want to have it listed in there, you can click on add and add that training in.
So is that like all trainings that you get? Or
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. I know, isn't that great? So this is one great place that all of your staff's trainings will now be stored in the system. And you as the director have access to go in and check on those over time. Okay? When they complete trainings, whether it would be with a Focus consultant or through the TTAPs, then that data is reported and then it's put into the system. Because once the training professional development registry is up and running, you'll sign up online and you'll go, and then the trainer will just go through and click who's attended, and it automatically populates your profile. Okay?
So that's processing.
And it might. We're still, a lot of the trainings have been loaded. We're still working out all the bugs on that side. So you may or may not see any right now, and that's okay. You will eventually see all of them just load in. You don't have to worry about adding any right now. Because if you go in and add all of your focus trainings right now and then they populate from the other side, you're going to have double. So I wouldn't add anything right now. Just leave them as they are, and then you'll see them populate from the other side. Okay?
So they'll pop by themselves.
They will. They will. So go on to the next page. So if your search does not return any trainings, this is where you can add them. So you'll fill out the name, the training number, the hours, the start and end date, and the training type. So once we get a few months down the road and the PDR, the Professional Development Registry, is up and running and you're seeing something missing, let your consultant know. Or if you took something a long time ago, like I said, and you want to make sure that you receive credit for it, and it's something you want sitting on your profile, just add it in there. On to the next. This is your,
If it doesn't
go
show
ahead.
anything, just go ahead and go on.
Just keep going on.
Okay, because yeah, it's just, mine says processing.
That's okay. Is it letting you go on to the next?
Okay.
Okay. So the next one should be for professional coursework. We're not going to do anything with this one right now. This one has not been finished yet. So we can skip this coursework page. With your staff, do the same. Just click next and just keep moving through this one for right now. So the next page is your professional development educator licensure. So if any of you hold a license in the state of New Mexico for teaching, then you can add that information in there. You can always go back later, so if you don't have your license number with you, you don't have to enter it right now. You can go back and enter that at any time. So the top one is for educator licensure. You click on add, and you can add your licensure information. The bottom one is for certifications, because a lot of people do hold certifications, and you can click add and add that information. This looks, again, exactly like what your educators will fill out as well. So it's really, really handy when you are calling, especially when you're pulling people out of classrooms, have their staff file right there with you. Have everything you know, what they need to fill in and what they need to populate. Have it with you so that you can go through it quickly and help them do this faster, because it's going to take a little bit of time to roll all your staff through. Okay?
Do you want all the staff or teachers working with the children?
Anybody that is counted in ratio needs to have a profile. Anybody that goes to trainings, anything like that. Okay? Okay. So again, this is your licensure. The great thing is you can add files. You can actually add a document. You can make a copy or save it onto your computer, and you can add the copy of their license to their file. So the documents you're able to see it, which is great. It's a great resource to have that stored in there as well. Okay. The same with our educator certification. You can add their certificates in there as well. So tell me a certificate that you could put in there that's an educator certification.
CDC?
Your Montessori education, absolutely. There's CDC. Absolutely. So any of those certifications, that's where those would go.
NAC or
They're NAC, absolutely. Okay. Go ahead and click next.
I'm still stuck on a.
Oh, is it wheeling you through?
Yeah.
What page are you stuck on, Mo?
It's back to the coursework.
Okay.
It just keeps saying
So-
processing request.
It won't even-
Request anything
Oh.
except to move forward.
So on that, for the educators?
Let me go back.
Yeah.
Those will automatically populate, you have to put them on like.
You have to hand put all of these in.
Okay.
So if they received a degree anywhere, it's never going to populate, because that university, college, wherever they did that, is not going to know to report it to the database. Only internally do we do that. And so, no, they have to hand enter all that information.
So if you do one, and then how do you add another one?
Once you've added one, once you've saved it, the add button should drop down to the next line,
Yeah, so it says another document.
and you can add another data, add another.
I just like, if you're minus 12.
That's okay. You can add as much education on here as you want. So if you do have your associates, you do have your bachelor's, you do have your master's, you do have your PhD, or any of your staff do as well, you can continue adding that information.
So now, when you went to the ad again, it doesn't give you the little
required to?
It's not required to. So like for the Montessori certifications,
You just would record it.
you can record it.
But not necessarily put it in.
Absolutely.
And then,
Oh, okay, so,
do you know if CYFD would be checking this database instead of opening files?
For licensing, not right now.
Okay, just curious.
Not right now, right. So this would be, great question though. No, licensing will not be in here as of right now. They would not have access to your profile. The only people that can actually profile is your consultant and the 4 program managers. The 4 program managers are gated to every program in case we need to give support to any consultant, but only your consultant can see your profile. Okay? So the only time that CYFD right now, and it's actually CYFD Office of Child Development, not Office of Child Care Licensing, the only thing that they see that you enter are your applications right now. Okay? They can run reports on certain things, but we're still defining what reports they would need to see. Okay? Great question.
We shared it.
Ah. Okay. So when you get to the documentation page, this will be all the files that you've uploaded. So if you ever need to get rid of one, you can always delete it. Or if you need to edit it, maybe you named it wrong, then you can go back in and edit it. Okay? So go on to the next, and this will be your review and save page. If there is anything missing, it will display it for you. Okay? So does anybody have anything displayed for them that's missing? Okay. If your educators are quickly going through things and it was a requirement, it will tell them. It will stop them at this page and will not let them go any further. And then say if they were missing their educational level, which is required, they can just go back and click on that one. They don't have to go through the whole thing again. You can click on just that section, fix what you need to fix, and then next through to get back to here. Okay? So if everyone can please click on review and save. And it should give you an okay. Does it give you an okay for every section? Yes. Mm-hmm. Does anybody have anything other than okay? Mm-hmm. We're all good? Yay, everybody gets a gold star. This is the way it should look when everything has been reviewed and you're ready to save it. Everything should have okay. Like I said, if not, then it'll tell you where to go back to and you can click on just that section. So if you are ready to submit it, go ahead and click save.
and as long as I, even though I verify, they can still go back and...
Yes, they can. Yes, they can go back. They can go back and change things. So I want you guys to mark your packet at this point. Up until this page, the last one that says review and save continued, up until that point is where all of your educators will go to complete their profile. So all of the slides that we've just been through, you will go through with every single one of your educators. Okay. Why don't we take a 5-minute break? The next section we're going to go into is getting ourselves into the portal. So let's take a 5-minute break. There's restrooms straight down the hall. There's a drink machine down the hall to the right at the alcove. So take a couple minutes, stretch your legs, and we'll come right back. Go ahead and enter your license number, please. And click on I affirm that I am the appropriate person to fill out this provider application. Now, from this point forward, this is not something that your staff will do. This is just you going in as the appropriate person to grab your site and fill out information, okay? So once you have affirmed that you are the correct person, please hit submit. And it should take you to this page. Is everyone on this page? Where you have the choice to view slideshows. Are you guys there? So programs coming into Focus, this will be a requirement for them to do. We have it in both English and Spanish, so programs coming in the future don't have a choice but to view a slideshow. And it's a slideshow that just tells you what is Focus. What have you gotten yourselves into? Takes you through everything that you would need to do with regards to Focus. You guys don't need to do that, so we're going to move over to the Application tab. So if you can click on the Application tab for me. Do you see your site listed? Okay. What does it say?
View application.
Okay, view. Mo, what does yours say?
Little Forest Play School, license numbers, selected, view application.
View. Julie, what does yours say?
Site name, license number, status, and view application.
View application. Roxanne, does yours say view?
Yes.
Leanne, yours says view, or does it say you're not there yet?
No, wait.
That's okay. Viola, what does yours say? View.
application.
View. Daniela, start. Okay. That's okay.
I'm on application, yeah, it says no, there are no applications available.
Okay. Okay. And that's okay.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
I'm like-
We're good. Because some of you are not in there and some of you are. So if you're not in there, you'll just go through and enter your information. If you can't, it's in there, you're going to view it to make sure we don't need to put you back to incomplete to change some things. Okay, so we're going to all go through this process together. Okay, so if you do not have one in there, if you have a view, go ahead and click on view application. If not, click start application. So when you're in this section, kind of rules of the road, ladies, make sure that you use the back and forward using the back button and or the save and continue button. If you were to hit the browser back button, it's not going to save your information. So make sure you are hitting the back and the save and continue that are on the screen itself. Okay? Check your position using the wizard tool on the left. And you can use that to move between sections. So when you're in this section, you can click on different parts off to the side using the wizard. You don't have to go through it straight. You can go back and forth. Okay? Continue trying before you contact support. It may just be that you're not following the right steps, or that maybe your browser is just moving really slow. Go back to the beginning, log out if you need to, log back in, and then try it again. But you can ask for help at the Focus Support at newmexicokids.org. Okay, so let's read through the welcome. There should be a welcome on there. So you have your application outlined here on the left, and then you will have your continue button on the right. Anything that you have to populate in there, you will always get a save and continue. Anything that you don't need to populate, you just get the continue. Okay, so entering site information. So for those of you who had a view status, I need you to go through there, please, very carefully and make sure everything was entered correctly by our staff. If you are not in the system, so for Danielle and Leanne, just go through and enter your information, okay? Are you on that page, Leanne?
Yeah, but there's,
Oh, okay.
is there a way we could change some of this information?
If it's not correct, we can.
Okay.
Is it critical that we need to change, or is it like the director's wrong or something? I mean,
Director and the email.
okay. Do we want to change her back to incomplete, Erica? Okay, Erica's doing that for you right now.
Okay. Precious moment?
But if the star level is wrong,
It was the original star level that you submitted. So Erica, at what point do you think that might update? Was that? Okay, we'll leave that alone for now, Julie, okay? Okay.
And then the daycare is in Chaparral.
Okay, so is there a physical address and a mailing address then? What did you guys list on there? What's listed?
250 County Line, and that's what.
The physical address?
Yes.
Okay,
Via Central.
okay. And do you need to have your mailing address in there as well?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do you guys need it or no?
Well, where do you get your mail? Do you get it in Las Cruces?
No.
Then no.
No?
No, then you're fine.
So we can change anything in this?
You can if we need to, but we have to put you guys back to an incomplete status. So Erica can do that for you really quick if there's something you guys need to change.
Yeah, plate alert.
Okay, what's your license number?
101155.
And what was your license?
I think it's like, no, maybe not big.
1037.
Rachel, are you guys good? Do you need to change anything? No? Viola, do you guys need to change anything?
No.
Daniela, are you good?
Yes, I just need to get accreditation, not ours.
Oh, okay. Mo, are you guys good? Everything's correct? Okay. Julie, Roxanne, you guys are good? Okay. And Julie, I made a note of the star level, so we'll make sure that that gets updated in there.
okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Have to get out of this first, or once she makes it?
We'll have to go back. So can you go back, click the back button and go back to the view application page?
Well, that's based on the numbers that we enrolled in.
And it should change it to start an application. The reason I still wanted to go through this with you guys, though, if you were to leave your program and go to a new program and they're not in focus and you had to do this application process, this is what it looks like. Okay? Or if another director who's not yet in focus says, hey, you're in focus, can you help me fill out this application in the portal? You'd be a great resource for them because you've been through the training. So here is all of your enrollment and language information. And this information really helps our consultants know a lot about your program before they ever step foot. Bless you. So they're knowing roughly what your enrollment is, if you're accredited or not, how we can best support your program. So we're knowing what supports we may need to discuss with you, before we ever walk in the door. Also, and because of the language piece of the application, if we put all English, or we put English, Spanish, or you put all Spanish, then we know we need to get bilingual consultants into your school. And it helps us better support your school when we're doing caseload management. And then this page is the staff information page. So roughly how many staff do you have in each of these areas? Like I said, so many of you did this a long time ago, so this information is really old data and may or may not have changed in the last 2 to 3 years. So this is the page we're going to stop on for now, is complete staff information. When a program has finished everything, they will hit save and continue at the bottom of this page. And then it saves everything that you just did. So every page saves, and this one will move you on to the next. Where it's going to take you next is begin entry survey. So can everybody flip to that page? So the entry survey was something that we developed and started with pilot phase 3, I believe, and had part of pilot phase 3 complete the entry survey. And so it was just for us to gain a little bit more information about programs, what they like to do as far as curriculum goes, how they support their staff, and a lot of different ways. So I'm not going to have you guys go back and do this because we needed you to do it in the beginning, but it didn't exist. So, and that's okay. It would be really skewed data now to do it because you've been in focus for as long as you have. So for this part, you can just click save and continue, and we can move through it. But again, if you were to move to a different program, or you're supporting another director who's coming into focus, who's filling out an application, they would have to fill this out. This is required for them to submit a completed application. They have to do an entry survey. We have a new cohort coming in. They start on Monday, pilot phase 5, and that group will actually do everything from the beginning in the database. So if you know anybody out there that reaches out saying, help, they might reach out to you. I don't know. And you have luckily have gone through this and will be able to support them through that. But they will do everything in here. They've already submitted a paper application, but we're going to have them go in and enter all of their application live into the system, as well as the entry survey. So nothing will be on paper. It'll be in the database. So you can kind of peruse the questions and see what kind of questions we're asking for. You don't have to do them. Erica, do we know if the entry survey is still turned off? Okay. They can, saving it? Okay. Will we be able to get it turned on by Monday? Okay. Okay.
So we will be able to update this information on these.
You don't have to. You can if you want to. You're more than welcome. Now, would they be able to access it right now because they already have their application in? Would they be able to change it?
They have to be unselected.
Unselected and then, okay. No. No. It is, yeah. If you would love to have a copy and fill it out, we can get you a paper copy.
And then you guys will do the update?
No, that doesn't go in there, no, no. It would just be for information purposes at this point because you're already working with a consultant,
Oh.
so. No, they would have done it in the very beginning, but you guys have been in since the beginning, so, no, not anymore.
So not even the counter, none of that really make a difference? Or-
It doesn't, because it's holding that application data. And how often, Erica, remind me, does it trigger them to update? Month to month. So once you're in the system and once you log in, so every time once a month when you log in, it's going to say you can't go further until you update your information. And it'll have specific fields that is requested for you to update. So enrollment, things like staffing, things like that. Because if not, people could probably sit out there for years and never update their information. So it does trigger you once a month to update that. The great thing about getting to this page is that you can actually download it and print it if you wanted to keep a paper copy for yourself. And it'll print out the application and the entry survey all in one. So you're able to keep that. And again, you're going to click that you affirm that the information that you provided is true and accurate. And then you click submit. Yes,
Can I
ma'am.
hold up on submitting?
You can.
Okay.
Absolutely. So you can click submit, and then what it does is it triggers the Office of Child Development to look at that application. And we have a new application pop up on their list, and it says submitted, and then they review that on their side. And if it's not complete, then they will mark it as incomplete, and an email gets sent to the program saying your application is not complete. Please go back through. You go back through and you resubmit. Again, it clicks it from incomplete to submitted on their side. And then, like with the group coming in on Monday, once they're all completed, then they can assign them to a cohort, and then they're able to access the portal like you guys just did. So once your application is submitted, you receive a confirmation email that looks like this. For those of you who had a view only, you won't get anything like this. I'm so sorry, you don't get a congratulations. You're here. But Daniela, you will. You'll get one, okay? And anybody, we have a couple that are not in the system, and so they would get a confirmation email, and then like all of our pilot phase 5 group, they would get a confirmation email that they completed everything in the system. Okay, again, this is your support. And all they're going to do is go to the same website you did, click sign up, and it's going to take them directly to the first page where you put all of your information in.
And it'll be blank?
It will be blank. And then they'll be able to enter all their information, and then they'll be able to select the site. So either have the license, I'd have the license number right there with you.
So they'll use our, no, they're going to create their own?
They do.
Their own.
So that's why from the first pages up till the portal page of your PowerPoint, you're going to use all of those slides to get them an account, just like you. So they need their own email address. They need, I mean, I'm sure most people have their own. So they need to know what their email address is. They need to create their own password, all of that on their own. It's not something that you would, because that's their own. They can access it anywhere. They can go in and do anything on their account.
Makes sense.
And the good thing is if you have staff come in that have been in another focus program, all they have to do is now go into their profile and change the site. And now they're assigned to you. If you have new staff that come in that have not in focus, all they have to do is go in and sign up just like your other staff have, which is great.
Now, what prevents them from just making up trainings and putting them in there? Hey, that's smart.
I would really hope nobody
In
would,
particular,
but,
not the ones, trainings that might not be focused
right.
trainings.
If the staff are going to enter trainings, I would ask for a certificate. That way you have a copy of it in their file. Sadly, though, when you go to a training, the certificate belongs to the participant. It does not belong to the center. Even though the center is the one paying them the hours for the training, the certificate belongs to the person who attended the training. But a lot of times the directors hold on to the certificates, and the participants never get the certificate. So they get the original, you get the copy, but a lot of times people hold on to them, and when you leave employment there, all of your certificates got left behind. So you may have people say to you, I took these trainings. Now, if they're a focused training, we can check. We have a database where we can go and check to see if they've taken it. Anything else, you're trusting them at that point.
Okay. TTAP will not be able to have
They do.
their non-focused trainings?
Yes, they will.
They will.
They
have
do.
this
They
on
have,
here also? Or-
yes, anything that
Okay.
they would have taken is gonna load in based on that person's name and birth date.
Okay.
That's why it's so important. I know people are scared to give birth dates, but that's why it's so important, because if you have 2 Sally Smiths and no birth dates, then who gets credit for the training? So having their birth date is very critical.
I just have one request talking about trainings.
Okay.
A very simple one. And if you, I don't know if you guys can, but just give the message to TTAP not to make their certificates in dark color paper.
It is, I know.
Because I have one that I cannot see anything. It says you can only see focus on top.
Right.
But you cannot see none of the information. And those purple dark colors, they're not helpful.
I know. The Carino uses red. So no, I appreciate that because they use the heavy cardstock to do that. My suggestion for that is take a picture of it, either on your phone or on a camera. Take a picture of the certificate, and then you can just print that out on paper. If you send it to,
Email it to yourself.
email it to yourself, and then you can print it out on paper.
Okay.
Get in as close as you can to the certificate and take a picture of it if you need to. Because that's, to get the color, it is hard because they are dark and they copy dark. I understand that. I don't think they're going to change it. Theirs are very unique that way, but I would do a picture. Okay? Okay, so I'm trying to get this smaller so you guys can actually see. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Like I said, we are in production. So for now, the only assignment you guys have until the 17th is to have all of your staff go in and be entered. But I wanted to show you the other tabs. Please go in and look around. Start becoming familiar with it. Every webinar that we do, we're going to go over 1 or more tabs to tell you what the purpose of it is, how you enter information, all of that. Okay? But I just wanted to show you what they are. So we already did the application tab. Then we have our self-study tab. Okay, this is where the self-study we would go in. What have they updated in this one, Erica? Remind me, please. The self-study tab. Is it completed, or is it that one? It's ready. Okay, so this is where you can go in to start your self-study. So this is your CQI, going in and documenting things over time of what you're doing in your program. Okay. You have a rating tab. If you have had a verification, then this is where that information would be. Okay? So you would be able to see what rating, what star level your program has achieved in this area. And so year over year, you can see the ratings that are listed in there. Okay? In the assessments tab, do they have access to the assessments? Okay, just making sure. Let me see if it'll.
It's just, it shows there's nothing, it says view. but
Okay.
all of them. Improvement plan.
And
That's nice though.
thank you. Okay, so you can click on View Assessments. Any assessments that you have completed, there are none in there right now. Any assessments that you guys have completed on your site would be in this area. So what kind of assessments would you do? ASQs? Mm-hmm. You could. Document that they're completed. What other assessments do you guys do, like a self-assessment?
The parent.
Parent surveys? Good. Ackers and Itters, class, any of those self-assessments that you do, this is where you would document that. Okay? Under the Reports tab, same thing. We have our site profile report. You can actually, once things are listed in there, you can open it up and you have a report there for you. Okay? And again, we'll get more detailed into those as we go along, and we'll have some stuff to show you. Okay? In the improvement plan, there's none available at this time, but this is where you would, again, be adding more of your CQI information. Your self-study takes you, that's where it gates you back. So when you log in, it gates you back once a month to go back in and update all of your information relative to enrollment and all of that. So your self-study is a lot of the stuff that you would have to continually update. The verifiers are going to want to know if you've added 5 classrooms to your program, or if maybe you've closed a couple of classrooms and they need to know that going in, or if now you do a morning and an afternoon and you've doubled the size of your staff. Maybe you do only part-time staff now. The self-study is where we put that information to help them understand, gives your consultant an idea of what you're putting in there, how big your program is, all of that. Okay? The improvement plan is your CQI. That is, but self-study is as well. So hand in hand, working together. The improvement plan is truly the goals that you're setting and what are you doing in the program.
So if this is all updated when they go to re-verify you or go for your annual, a lot of stuff can be in here and they don't
Yes.
have to look at your paper.
Exactly. So this is going to cut down on the verifiers being there as long on site, because there's a lot of things that they can look at before they ever go out. So when you submit for verification, or you're coming up on your verification month, they can go online and look at rubric ratings for children. They can look at any CQI documentation that you have uploaded. You can upload documents to support what you're doing. So a lot of what a lot of you have in your binders right now could be online as well.
Well, that's awesome. It was 2 days with 2 verifiers.
I know it was. I know it was. And the resources page, they will be updating that for different resources for you guys to be able to access. Okay? So just kind of get in there and peruse it a little bit over the next couple weeks until we talk again. But please do not start entering data. That's all I'm going to ask you to do. The only thing is, until the 17th, is staff data. Until we can show you models of what this looks like in each of these tabs, just kind of look at them, but let's leave them alone for now. Okay? Like I said, all of your consultants will be notified that you guys have gone through the workshop so that they will be able to talk to you about the database and all of that. And they won't be asking you to do anything in it yet because they know where you guys are. Okay? There are 2 different sides, again, to it. So the consultants have their side that they log into, and you guys have your side, and they talk to one another. So the data that you enter, the consultants cannot go in and change that data. What they can see on their side is read only. So once a month, when you're updating your enrollment tab, they can click on that on their side, and it's grayed out. They can look at it. Same thing with employees. No.
Great when they're going to be able to see all this stuff.
Right, no, the consultants cannot, they can see your program, they can see all the data relative to your program, but they cannot go in and change anything. When they are at your site and you say you're logged in, I do not want the temptation of, here, consultant. No, they should not be on the production side of your side of the portal, just as you should not be on the production side of their side of the portal. Okay? Anything that you are doing, you are manually doing yourself, and your consultant can be sitting there to support you saying, oh, don't forget, click on that tab, and that's where you would upload something. But you should be the one physically doing it. Why would we have that safeguard? It's your work. Yeah. Yeah, because then if someone said, well, I didn't put that in there, well, then who did? So making sure that that data is entered by you. Okay? The great thing about it is the site visit reports that you currently receive, or action plans, or anything that you receive from your consultant now through email, it'll be uploaded on their portal side, and you'll be able to see it on your side.
The reports that they give?
Mm-hmm.
They won't have to email them to us. They'll just be awesome.
They'll be on here.
We'll be able to print them.
You can print them. You can open them and print them.
When you guys get them.
And so, So anything. So if you are a 2-star center that does the 2+ reimbursement, then that's where that would go. Your form would be uploaded by the consultant, and then you can see it on your side. Your letter of agreement that you did originally with your consultant can be uploaded in there, and you can then see it on your side. You can't change it because they're the ones that uploaded it, but you can view it. Just like they view your stuff, you can view theirs.
So they're busy putting in a bunch of stuff.
We're not backlogging it. We're not backlogging it. Anything new as of August 3rd is because they go live on Monday. So anything done after August 3rd, you'll see it in the portal. Anything before that will be in their notebooks and site visit reports. So no, you won't see a lot of backlogged information. It's too much.
Yeah,
Some programs have been in for 2.5 years. I think Wells would shoot us if we tried to upload that much information at one time. So that's it,
But
guys.
if we wanted to have all those previous reports, we could do that, or?
Erica, can they upload those docs on their side? On the portal side, can the sites go in and scan? They can scan them into the report section and upload them?
Into reports?
Or is it docs?
Docs.
Docs, okay. So that takes you through the whole system. Okay. Again, I'll send out the doodle to everybody to say these are the dates and times. I will only choose what everybody can do. Okay. And then we'll just do a 2-hour webinar, and what we'll do is go through were you able to get all your staff in? So remember, shoot me the email if you get everybody in. And then we'll go through each of the tabs, and I'll have models for you to look at. So we'll do it on Zoom. Is everyone familiar with Zoom? Okay. You'll want to download Zoom onto your computer or iPad. And the great thing about Zoom is that whatever I can share my screen and whatever I see on my screen, you can see on yours. So you don't want to just call in. You want to log in on Zoom, and I'll send you the link for that. And when you click on the link, you can just get right in. Okay? So definitely try to get in a little. I'll set it up to start a half hour before our call is to start. That way it gives you plenty of time to get in and get logged in. Okay? And so anything that I share on my screen. So I'm going to have examples of things to show you. If you go here and click on this is what you can do in here. And I'll show you guys live how to do some of those things, and then give you guys time to practice and play on your own, and then we'll probably touch base at least 1 or 2 more times. Does that sound good? Okay. So the staff will not be entering anything yet. Once we get into like the self-study portion, we're going to have you guys going in. You're going to set up your classrooms. You're going to add educators to those classrooms, and then you're going to add children to those classrooms. So again, we're doing this in a step process, because if we just said, here, do it all, it would be a lot. It's going to be time consuming. So let's do it in stages. That way we make sure everyone is at the same place, and to be fair to everyone participating in this group, that everyone is able to sustain it, because it's a lot of work to put everything in. Okay? The most important step, though, is getting those educators in, because you can't assign them to a classroom if they haven't set up an account. Okay, but we'll eventually get there where you're setting up your classrooms and then adding educators to those classrooms and then adding the kiddos in. Okay, once we add the children into the system, then I will show you guys how to go in and for the teachers to be able to add rubrics off of the portfolio forms and off of the quick looks.
And this is the rubric that you guys are going to be using as well?
Let me see. Yes, it is.
And then every time you choose if it is an infant.
If it's an infant, toddler,
And it's going to give you the right.
it'll give you the right. So for infants and toddlers, it will not give you a rubric at all. For those classrooms, it will not give you a rubric rating. The only ones it'll be assigned to is a classroom that's 3s and up. They're the only ones that have rubrics on their portfolio forms.
How are their advancements is going to be monitored for the infants?
It'll be on their portfolio forms.
Oh,
So
no,
using the
hard
ELGs, hard copies still. So the verifier is still going to look at the hard copies of those and be able to verify you based on those. They're still going to verify the portfolio forms for preschool as well on site. The great thing is they can go into the portal and they can look at all the rubric ratings assigned. So they can print out reports so that when they walk in the door, they already know your teachers, they already know your classrooms, they already know the children in your classrooms, and then they could have marked several of them and said, I need to see these 5 portfolios. because they see who's already in the classroom. That way they can it's a much quicker process than guessing who's in there, how many children do you have. You've already entered the information, they can see it. And so when they come in, they already know who they're going to ask for. They've seen that you've assigned the rubric ratings for all of the EIs, depending on your star level that you're verifying for, and it makes that process a lot quicker. And then they just view the portfolios and go from there. When we get to the child data piece, we'll talk about that, about what information needs to be added for each child, and even showing you how to move children from one classroom to another. Okay, because I know in transition times, especially in very large centers, it's very time consuming to be able to do that. So we'll show you just how to do that and how to move them over. Okay. The great thing about the rubric for our pre-K programs that are in here, and pre-K is changing as well, for the rubrics before, you'd have to sit down and enter them all at one time and then hit save. Pre-K just changed their database, and our database is set up the same way that you can save and continue over time. So you can enter them throughout your reporting period and not have to sit down all at one time and do them. Yes, it will be nice. So, the portfolio forms that you guys will be receiving from your consultants this week that go live on Monday do match what's in the database. So the database, the rubrics have already been changed to reflect what's on the new